Hi, it's Alison again with another of my little videos, and this one's all about arms. So we're going to look at fingers, thumbs, hands, wrists, elbows, forearms and upper arms, but not the very upper. That's all in the shoulder video. So if you're having problems with your elbows and wrists in particular, this one should be a good video for you. So you can do the warm-ups that I do in the shoulder video, you know, the arm rolling, the shoulder rolling and the circles and all that. We're just going to do a little bit here with wrists, so you can do some rotations and back the other way, and then we can tuck under and pull back. The hands are mostly worked by the muscles in your forearms. There's not a huge amount of muscle in the hand itself, and we can do some sideways. So if you have issues in your thumbs, hands, wrists, elbows, we need to look at the muscle through here. Okay, and we can do a little bit of opening and closing. And if you're doing a lot of computer work, just stopping and doing a few of these sort of exercises regularly throughout the day is really helpful. We'll do a little quick stretch there. Turn the hands this way and go one side and then the other, and just moving. So I'm keeping left arm straight, pulling back the fingers of my left hand with my right hand straight, pulling back with my left hand. I feel a stretch there. And when I go that way, you feel the stretch there. Okay, so we've given that all a little bit of a warm up, and now we're going to look at massaging through those areas. So one of the easiest ways, get a little bit of massage balm, and handy to have a pillow. And if you don't want to get your pillow oily, you can have an oily towel. Sitting however you like, whatever's comfortable for you, and we can get a little bit of massage balm, and that'll be rubbing. And then again, this area of the hand is really it's handy area to use. You can use the knobbly bits of those knuckles, or you can use the flat bits in here. You can get in quite firmly, so we're just warming that area up with your hand, and come into the upper arm, get into that bicep. Might need a bit more balm. Give that bicep a wee work, and then you can turn it over, get into your tricep round the back there. Try and keep this arm nice and relaxed. If you've got it tense like that, then it's going to be tricky getting into that tricep. Use these knuckles here, give that a bit of a work through there. Okay, so just doing that sort of thing to warm up through that upper arm. And as I've mentioned before in my videos, you can either do a few minutes each day, just getting in, giving it a quick rub like I did there, or you can 2 or 3 times a week if you've got an issue. Get in and work it longer. You can go fast, you can go slow. You just want to start to warm all that muscle up. And then for the lower arm, same thing. We can get in through there, using that part of the hand, the side of the thumb. So get the back of the arm into the forearm extensors. And then there's a muscle here does a lot of work, your brachioradialis, and it helps out your bicep rather, particularly when you're holding it in that position. So a lot of people get quite tight and they're doing a lot of driving or carrying supermarket bags in that position rather than straight arm, things like that. So get in and work that one. Carrying the jug, electric jug, all those sorts of things, we hold our arm in that position quite a lot. Sometimes with sore muscles, it's working out what you're doing to upset them in the first place. And finding a better way of doing things rather than constantly repeating actions that are exacerbating the muscles. So now I'm just using the knuckles. Getting my hand round into that position is a bit tricky here, so use those knuckles. And if this arm is nice and relaxed, I don't know if you can notice, but my fingers are jumping around there, and that's as I push into the muscle, my fingers will move, because these are the muscles that pull the fingers in, and as I push into them it shortens them. So you'll know you're nicely relaxed if your fingers are dancing around. Okay, so do the same thing on the other side. We'll get in. Work through that bicep. Your bicep goes from the lower arm all the way on top of the shoulder as well. So it crosses two joints. Same with triceps. Work into that tricep. Do a bit through there. Bit tricky doing it on yourself. Much better if you can go to your friendly massage therapist for a good massage. Okay, and then lower arm, but a bit hard to keep that 2 meters personal distance when you're giving somebody a massage, so goodness knows when that will happen again. Hopefully this will help keep you together before then. Okay, so we're going through the back of the forearm and then through the side there, through that brachioradialis, and then into the flexors, and through the flexors and get through there. Now if you find all this a bit hard work, because it's quite tricky working on yourself, you can do a bit with the foam roller. I should have done that first before I had greasy arms, but I'll just do it with the towel on it. So you can be on the floor like this, you can have this up on a table or a bench, that works well also, and you can just roll your arms over it like that. So that's quite general in doing both sides at once. If I want to get in deeper, I can put a bit more weight on that arm with my other hand and do one side at a time. Okay, and if you want to get in deeper still, you can go with the bobbly ones and definitely feel that a lot more. Okay, so that's everything massaged through there. And we'll get into thumbs. So thumbs can get very nasty. You've got 8 little muscles that move your thumb around. It's quite a mobile little chappy, and these days it gets severely overused, particularly if you do a lot of texting or gaming. But everything you do involves your thumb. If you pick up anything, you're using your thumb, and it gets very overused. So you can get in and work deeply through here unless you're pregnant. If you're pregnant, there's quite a powerful acupuncture point just in there, and you should not squeeze your thumb and finger together like that. It can bring on contractions, so you don't want to do that. You could, however, just get in with your knuckles and give your thumb a little bit of a rub like that, because you won't be accessing that acupuncture point from there. You're just getting into the muscle on the inside of the thumb. Okay, so working through there, and you need to go quite deeply with this. A lot of people don't go hard enough and don't say, oh yeah, it's fine, until somebody like me gives it a hard squeeze and they realise it's actually not so fine at all. That acupuncture point in there is also very good for headaches and sore arms and shoulders, so you can use that as well. Just you can hold that for a minute, breathing deeply and squeezing. If it's quite bad, it can make your whole hand feel quite sore and achy. Once you've eased it off, then people often find their grip improves. They feel they can lift heavier things. It's just because this muscle's so sore and tight. So getting in and regularly working all around your thumbs is a good idea. Obviously, you've got to use the other hand to work. So you can do this hand one night and this hand the other night, and that way they get a rest. Okay, you can get in and work all through where the fingers are. And hand massages especially are so much nicer done by somebody else. It doesn't feel quite the same when you do it on yourself. Okay, so working through the whole palm. Again, you can use those knuckles. They don't get as tired as your thumbs and fingers, and you can work through the back of the hand. Use your thumb. And then working the whole finger, getting in and using that thumb around each finger. For those of you who are noticing they're starting to get little arthritic, lumpy, bumpy bits through there, and for those of you who want to prevent ever getting arthritic, lumpy, bumpy bits, getting in and regularly massaging through your fingers is really helpful, because the muscles cross all the joints that move those joints, and if muscles become very tight in the tendons, you get more compression at that joint, and as that compresses further, you get more wear and tear and inflammation at the joint. So if you can loosen everything off and loosen all these muscles up here that move your fingers, then it can make a big difference. Okay, so there's muscles that go from these joints down here that attach all the way up at your elbow. The tendons in the back of your hand are the muscle. If you put your finger up here, you'll be able to feel those muscles moving. And the same this way. If you bring the hand in this way, you'll feel the muscle moving under your fingers. So if you're having problems in your hands and your fingers, loosen off this. This will be what makes the difference. Just rubbing your finger will not cut the mustard. Okay, so we've given our hands a good rub. Now we're going to stretch them. So we'll start off with the biceps and triceps. Biceps, you put your flat hand against the wall. If you've made your hand greasy, you might need to use your towel. And you put the flat hand against the wall like that, and you rotate away. Okay, and you should be feeling that all the way up your arm. That will get into your forearm flexors as well as the bicep. And again, you can do it at different heights. You'll also be getting some of those chest muscles as well. Okay, and then you can do the same thing the other side. The hand goes against the wall, you rotate away, or you can walk back. The further you walk back, the more you'll feel it. Okay, so that does biceps. Get into triceps, hand on the back of the neck, take hold of your elbow and draw it back. If you want to increase that stretch further, you can put your elbow against the wall or the door frame and then slide forward until you've got your whole upper arm on the door frame, and that will get better stretch into that will get a better stretch into your tricep. Always slow deep breathing as you stretch. Much better stretch if you breathe slowly and deeply. And the other tricep, so either it's pulling back or like so. And then of course the other stretch, you can bring your right hand up, place the hand on the back of the neck, left arm out, around, up, and take hold. And that's really good for getting in through the tricep, unless you've got it sitting down here. It needs to be pointing at the ceiling. If you can't reach your other arm up, you can use your towel or a strap or something. Always try and have that top elbow up towards the ceiling. Okay, so now we need to do our forearm extensors and flexors. So these are the flexors. Sitting on the floor like this, you can have your hands like so, palms facing away from you. Roll forward until your whole hand is on the floor. And then if you need to, you can come back until you're feeling the stretch. Now, I have very flexible arms, so you may find that yours don't look quite like mine. If your hands are out there, you are really tight. If your hands can't get down, then you're also really tight. And you might find it more comfortable to bring your hand back here and try and get it down in that position. Just do one hand at a time. You can also, easier with a bench or something like that, table, you come forward, get your hand down, and then come back. And doing one hand at a time is less intense. Okay, same thing with the forearm extensors. These ones down here, they bring the hand up. So palms towards you this time, and coming all the way down onto the wrist, not to there, you should come all the way to the wrist. The further forward you go, the easier it is. If that's difficult for you, again, bringing your hand back here, just doing one side, I can sort of take my whole body over. But that's often too intense for some people. Again, you can do it on a bench or a table, preferably with some padding through the back of the wrist. And if I come well forwards, then I can get the hand down more easily. Okay, so the other way of doing it, we'll do the flexors again. You place your hand out, use your other hand, and you pull the fingers back towards you. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. A lot of people sort of do this. So just let those shoulders go. You can have the elbow straight. You can bend it as well. Same in this position. Try bending it and letting the heel come off the heel of the hand come off the floor. And try doing it straight. You'll get different muscles. Attachments will be targeted in each different stretch. So you can straight and you can do it bent. To get the other side, you're going to make a fist, gentle fist. Take hold of it with the other hand and tuck under. If you're very tight, making a fist is going to be too uncomfortable, so you'll just leave the hand relaxed and pull the hand back towards you. Again, make sure your shoulders aren't up round your ears, keep those down and relaxed. Okay, so same thing on the other side, we'll pull the fingers back towards us. The only thing with doing it this way is I'm tightening up my right arm as I'm stretching my left arm, but that's okay. And then the other way, we either make a fist or keep the hand relaxed, pull the hand back towards you. You can play around with this as well, do it at different angles. You may find in one position that you really get a certain muscle more so than if you have it just in the center the whole time. Okay, and another way of doing it is you do one finger at a time. And this is especially good if you have a finger in particular that needs a bit more stretching than the rest. You usually find index and middle fingers, you feel it a bit more than you do the other two, but if you are suffering from Dupuytren's contracture where that tendon is shortening, you want to be doing lots of ring finger. That's the one that usually gets most affected. So we'll do the other side. Hands get very neglected if you do a lot of weights and things like that. You've got to consider that it's your forearm muscles and your thumbs, fingers, that are lifting those weights, and you might be stretching your chest, but are you stretching your forearm? That is the question. Okay, for the other side, you curl the finger in under as much as you can. Bring that finger up into the palm of your hand, and you can do that one at a time. If that's too tight, you just take hold of the finger and pull it back towards you. But the further the end of that finger gets towards your wrist, the more you'll get the stretch. Okay, you can do a few of those each side. These are the sort of things very easy to do while you're sitting watching telly. You can have your little pot of massage balm or hand cream there and just give those hands a bit of a work regularly. Particularly if you're getting a bit of tennis elbow, which is out here, or golfer's elbow. Golfer's elbow, it's usually the forearm flexors. Tennis, it's the forearm extensors. And you don't have to play golf or tennis to have issues with those areas. Now the thumb. I find the easiest way is arm extended. You can have it bent if you like. I reach under, take hold of the thumb and pull it back towards me. Some people find that a bit tricky to figure out what I'm doing. You can just go over the top and pull back. Helps to drop the wrist a bit rather than have it straight, but play around with it again. You might find you need to move it around a bit to get the right stretch. And the same with the other one. You can either go under or over, pull that thumb back, and you should feel that through there. And that gets very, very sore in many, many people. Now, your thumb also comes up like that, and if you're doing a lot of gaming, you'll be doing a lot of that one. You can get quite sore through here as well. So to get that one, if you have your arm out in front, bring the thumb into the palm, take hold of it with the fingers on the other hand, and you want to try and drop that wrist, pull the thumb in towards the palm. Again, you can try rotating. There are some little muscles in here that do that rotating movement. So you can, if they're sore, by playing around with the position, you can sometimes get the tightness out of those muscles as well. And we'll do the other side. So wrist pain is often because the forearm muscles are very tight. They have shortened and they're pulling, they've got a lot of tendon going through the wrist, and you can get a lot of inflammation when those muscles become short and tight, and the tendons can become inflamed. So by loosening off the forearms, that can do a lot to alleviate wrist pain, particularly if it's wrist pain due to overused muscles or the sort of pain that creeps up on you. Pain that creeps up on you tends to be more of a muscular issue unless you're older and you're developing osteoarthritis, but certainly address the muscles first. A lot of people assume they have arthritis when some massage and stretching is all they need to alleviate their pain. So I hope you found that helpful. Thanks very much. Bye.